a rematch.
10-3, we were coming for that second ring. Super Bowl dream shattered by a referee. A call blindfolded Sandra Bullock could have seen. We had the Rams by the horns, now they walking free. Goodell, what the hell are you doing? How much more of the NFL could you possibly ruin? There's a foul play, and I'm ready to call it.
Yeah.
Refs line in their pockets when commish opens his wallet.
This shit sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Shut up, Saints.
Everybody feels sorry for you guys. Man.
They got some dumb bitch who can't sing.
I'm getting robbed out of life right now listening to this.
We'll never get this 1 minute back for the rest of our lives.
It's a minute 38.
Are we going to finish it?
I don't know. Do you want me to turn it off?
You want to turn it off?
Let it go.
It said something about a bird box challenge. You're dumb.
It sounds like cats fighting.
There's nothing I love more than a poorly sung song whining about a football game.
Man.
Well, that happened.
Yeah, that was the worst.
I mean, the rap part was bad as well. So it's got that going for it.
Why won't Saints fans just shut up?
The rapping was worse than the singing.
Yeah, the timely Bird Box Challenge reference. They hit all the corny checkpoints you could have.
So, do we all agree it's a pass interference?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Did the Saints get robbed?
No. Well, did they get robbed out of the game?
Right.
I mean, I guess there's probably, a 95% chance they could still win that game. But
So, I heard they wanted to challenge the game and say that everything that happened from the pass interference on should be a replay. Just replay the whole thing, right? So that minute 40. And interesting enough, during the minute 40 is the worst the Saints played the whole game.
What? It's so, how do you even have the audacity to cry about being robbed when the Super Bowl you won, your coach got suspended for the next entire season?
For cheating.
Yeah. No one's listening. No, that's falling on deaf ears. No one cares.
I specifically remember Saints fans saying that we need to stop whining about pass interference. The phantom pass interference by Lieber. And,
yeah.
The high-low hits on Favre and the late hits on Favre. And
dude, he got hit 10 seconds after handing a ball off.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that in life.
They broke his ankle, and he had to go get a shot in it, take some Percocet, and come back and play.
Well, we should make a song.
I think it'd fall on deaf ears.
Vikings got robbed.
Who dat?
Skull that.
Skull that, there you go.
Well, here's the thing, too. Did they get robbed? So, the Saints then kicked a field goal and went up by 3 points, correct? So they're winning the game by 3, correct?
No, it seems like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And this is our, this is kind of the reason we're doing it is because it's before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
got to get these genius predictions out there.
Right. They're winning by 3 with a minute 30-ish left. Okay. They kick the ball off, give up a huge return. Then their defense folds. The Rams only had one timeout. They walked right down the field. They kicked a field goal, brought it to overtime. So now we're in overtime. So, yeah, the Saints might have gotten robbed because they didn't get the opportunity to get a touchdown, and it was only a field goal, and all the other team had to do was go 40 yards after a good return and kick a field goal. Now we're in overtime. Well, how does overtime rules work?
Saints start with the ball.
Well, that's not how. I mean, that's not how overtime rules
Well,
work.
no, but that's what happened, right?
The Saints started with the ball, and all they had to do was score a touchdown and win the game, but they didn't, and they were awarded a pass interference. So they were awarded their pass interference, and was it a pass interference? Yes. Could it? Was it less of a pass interference than the one they missed? Yes. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a makeup call too. At this, like, oh, I got to call this one, even though it's in overtime, and we got to make up for what happened. So in overtime, they got the pass interference. Then their quarterback got killed. He short-armed a ball up in the air, interception. Then their defense, because this is on their own side of the field, correct? We are now on the Rams side of the field, and the Rams have the ball. Then their defense gives up all those yards, and the Rams kick a field goal and go to the Super Bowl. Well, we're really far away now from that bad missed call.
I mean, they're not going to replay the game. They shouldn't have never even talked about replaying the game.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It was dumb.
So, was it a missed pass interference call? Yeah. I also think the camera angles are deceiving. If you actually got a real camera angle and not that back view, where your depth perception is changed because of the angle of the shot.
I thought about that too.
Yeah, I think that the timing was actually a little bit closer than everybody's giving credit to that ref. Also, the ball was thrown behind the receiver.
Yeah, I don't know what you think they would have determined that to be uncatchable.
They could have. I don't think it. I think it's catchable. I don't even think he's catching it anyway because he's not looking. You know what I mean? He wasn't even looking at the ball.
This definitely wasn't close enough to start making songs and congressmen making like presentations.
Oh yeah,
It's just embarrassing. Get over it.
And how dare the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans market do this when they get awarded a Super Bowl every 5 years? Shut up.
Yeah.
They make so much money from the NFL as it is. And they always... How often have you seen the Super Bowl at the Superdome? 4 or 5 times in your lifetime?
Yeah, probably.
They always get a Super Bowl. We never get a Super Bowl. We get one opportunity. It paid for the stadium. Thank you, NFL. They have made so much money in that market. And they're not a big market.
Well, it's cold here.
Yeah, we'll never get another one. We'll have to build another stadium.
It's 50 degrees in Atlanta, and they're crying about it.
Did you hear that there was a guy... Traffic was stopped, and it was stopped because there was a guy.
I heard Charchian talking about it. Yeah, that was
guy
funny.
out there,
One guy with like a pickup truck,
manually laying out salt on the road,
and all 6 lanes are stopped. I don't know about that city.
I understand. Different parts of the nation are different. We're obviously equipped to handle. Negative 50-degree weather, and we got the salt trucks and the plows and all that other stuff, but
right.
I just don't really feel sorry for, places that they're 50 degrees and they're closing down schools and stuff.
I mean, we have a pretty good fabric of community here where when you go to other states, like Indiana, for example, you ever drive through that thing?
I have family that lives in Indiana.
Oh, my God. And I'm nothing against Indiana. I'm just saying they kind of got it bad there because of their government. Yeah, we get overtaxed and we have a surplus here in Minnesota. But not to go off on a tangent, I don't mean to talk about politics or anything. I don't have an opinion either way either. I'm just saying that's why. Moving on. Yeah, TJ, what are you?
We got a Facebook question.
We did.
Well, hold on, TJ. What's your Twitter? What's your website?
Well, the Facebook question actually leads into that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's from Sarah, and she asks, who is all on the pod crew, and where do you record the podcast? So I'll start with myself. I'm TJ Caswell. I'm part of the pod crew. My Twitter is at TJ Caswell. Same as my Instagram. Or TJ Caswell Art if you want to check out my artwork. And, if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
My name's Patrick Huth.
You ain't got to give your last name if you don't want to.
I mean, nobody's going to try to, hunt me down or anything. I think I'm, wanted.
I don't know, man.
That'd be funny.
It'd be
I'd
funny
laugh.
if someone was trying to come get you. I don't know.
Pat's got stalkers.
Not anymore.
We record at Patrick's palatial estate
Yeah,
in Ramsey, Minnesota.
Yeah, Ramsey, Minnesota's in the
The
basement.
Huth compound.
Yep.
It's got a bunch of sports memorabilia, lots of Twins baseballs from the multiple Twins Fest he's gone to over the years.
Yeah, that's easy. They're easy to acquire, so they're fairly cheap.
My name is Jason, and my Twitter is shizdope. It's at shizdope because that shit's dope. How's it spelled, Pat?
SHIZZ.
D-O-P-E.
D-O-P, yep.
D-O-P-E.
Shiz dope.
Shizdope. So,
Oh, my Twitter handle's Fallball Legend. At Fallball Legend. Sorry for interrupting you.
no, I interrupted you. I should have let you said your Twitter handle first.
PodCrewMN
Yeah, that's
on Twitter as well.
that's
Check that out.
Kinda-
There's some good content on there.
absolutely.
We also have a Facebook page, too.
Yeah.
Right now, we're up to 170 subscribers.
We thank all of you.
Yeah,
Yes, we appreciate it.
it's a big deal. It's much appreciated. 25 subscribers on YouTube. We're going to be sending out this podcast here on YouTube. We're also going to be uploading the podcast in the next couple of weeks here onto iTunes if they accept us. I don't know if there's any digital rights on that bullshit Saint song we just played, but hopefully we don't get kicked off because of that.
I don't see.
They're gonna make a song about us using their song, whining about it.
Can't wait to hear it.
And then we'll reuse it in our podcast, and it'll just be a cycle, and we'll make each other popular. Let's go.
Sure, I'm down with that.
Except that chick can't sing, so we'll probably not get popular off them.
That dude can't rap either. So.
So, Super Bowl preview, we just went over the Saints and how that pass interference call, and it was a pass interference, but in my opinion, it didn't affect the game, and you're kind of taken away from the Rams' performance. The way Jared Goff played in that game was, he actually, in my opinion, moved from a above-average quarterback to good to even elite. I know he's younger, but damn, that was a good performance against that Saints defense.
Top 6, say it. Say it. Admit it.
Is he top 6?
Yeah, admit it.
I'm just going to keep him in the top 10 and be safe for now.
No, it's top 6. Just okay. I'll take because he was just like 14, 15 for you. So I guess
Right, I'll go top 10.
I'll take 10.
He's put himself in the top 10 with that performance.
I'm slowly converting you.
I'm kind of in line with what you were thinking. So,
Staying safe.
yeah, I agreed with when you had the Mahomes Goff debate.
Yeah.
I was definitely on the Mahomes side, but I was kind of I think I undersold Goff a little bit too. He performed really well. I kind of thought that the system kind of made him look a little better than he did, but some of those throws he made, I remember that one late, out route on the sidelines. Like I just saw that and I was like, I was pretty convinced. Like, yeah, Pat was right. He's pretty good.
Sorry, Pat.
It's all right.
I actually apologized to you, 5 minutes after the game?
I think after TJ left, we were watching videos of him, and I was kind of in awe, and you were like, you know what, he's probably a little better than I gave him credit for, but
I'm going to be interested to see how he performs in the Super Bowl.
I think
see if the lights are going to get too bright for him.
at first, don't you think at first, kind of like against the Saints?
Yeah.
I mean, it took him 3 drives in order to, finally start to get some yardage and stuff like that.
That's true, and his age, he probably can fold in that situation. But he did take a while to start up in the last game. But don't you think if his mindset was maybe like a doubter or a choker, he would have done it last game against the Saints, against Breeze. So I'm thinking he can play with Brady, and the Super Bowl is going to be interesting. I've also said Brady's going to lose now 2 weeks in a row, or 2 rounds in a row, so I'm not going to say it again, just like Charchian.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I could see him, getting in a shootout. And
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be overwhelmed by that, but I was kind of wondering, will he make a big mistake late? I think I could see that happening.
Goff?
Yeah, like he could play well, but when it comes down to crunch time,
Yeah, and
I could see him making a mistake.
You can kind of expect that from a younger player. I mean, you definitely don't expect it from somebody like Brady, guy that's had 5 come from behind wins in Super Bowl. As all 5 of his Super Bowl wins are from behind, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So,
tied, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, still game winning.
Right, yeah, he's not coming from behind. It's tied in like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, except for last year.
And I'm not going to call... Dude, Brady's great, and the one Super Bowl against Atlanta automatically makes him top 5 on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, no matter what. That game, the one against Seattle, I mean, he didn't come from behind there, did he? That was the defense winning the game.
Well, yeah, on that interception.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He did score, and he doesn't get credit too. Some of these Super Bowls that the Patriots have lost has been their defense. The shit that happened against Eli Manning, the David Tyree catch. That's all defense with 38 seconds left. You give up a touchdown. Brady actually scored too fast, and that was the year Moss was on the team. They walked right down the field and scored, and there was like 40 seconds left on the clock, and somehow the Giants come up with that David Tyree catch. And
every time I see that video, I still wonder how in the heck he trapped that ball against his helmet.
Fundamentals and playing smart. That's how he did it. I mean, yeah, that is a lot of instinct, but you practice that to make it instinct. You have situations where you've gone up with 2 hands and fought a cornerback multiple times in your life, and then now on the biggest stage, you have that situation again, and you're able to execute.
Yeah. Not to just talk about that play, but and not to really talk about the Giants and how they've beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl, but that Eli Manning to Mario Manningham throw, I don't think I've ever seen a better throw and catch ever.
In the Super Bowl?
Ever. I mean, Super Bowl, regular season, or whatever. I mean, just where it was, the catch, the footwork.
I agree.
I mean,
that play has always stood out in my mind.
Yeah, and it never gets compared to the David Tyree, just because.
Well, it just doesn't have the dramatic flair.
Yeah, it doesn't. But it wasn't that was late drive.
Yeah,
kind of to win the game and stuff like that. I mean,
I think Eli doing those like pirouettes in the pocket to escape the sack on the Tyree one was kind of made it more mythical too.
Yeah, you do got to think that he kind of just closed his eyes and just chucked it as far as he could downfield.
Yeah.
But
that's after he got loose, though.
Yeah.
And he knew that he couldn't get sacked there because the clock was going to run and there's only 30 seconds left. So he fought through all that shit. He didn't just lay down. He didn't get hit and go down. You could see the people grabbing him, and he's holding on for dear life, trying to stay up, not getting sacked, because if he gets sacked there, they don't win.
Yeah.
It's over.
I think that's like the only time I've ever cheered for the Patriots to win in the Super Bowl.
I know, because they had Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
I feel like I remember not wanting them to go undefeated.
You didn't want him to?
No.
You wanted
it still bothered you?
You wanted to hear Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka talk about how they're the only undefeated team still?
I don't really pay attention to them anymore.
You haven't heard anything.
Patriots have everything.
Morris in a while.
To me, it doesn't even count because they only played 14 games.
No.
You know what I mean? And then their playoffs were shorter, wasn't it? So they played a total of 16 or 17 games.
I think they had.
I think if I remember right too, didn't the Giants kind of play their asses off at the end of the regular season against the Patriots when they didn't really have to?
Oh, is that?
And I remember I respected that too. I was like, man, I started liking the Giants for that.
Did they lose that game?
I think they barely lost.
Okay.
Like they had nothing to play for, but
that's right. Yeah, but maybe that was that the last game of the season?
I feel like it was. I'm not 100% sure, but
because
they didn't want them to get the perfect record on them.
Yeah, they weren't just gonna lay down for it.
Yeah,
and they were already in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I didn't even think of that. I didn't remember that at all.
Was that the year they were the 6th seed? Or was that the second time they played them?
That's a good question.
Wasn't it both times they were the 6th seed when they played them?
Were they?
I think so. There's something about Eli Manning that
There's something about Peyton Manning.
there is something about Peyton Manning, yeah. But he does it all year. Eli had, for some reason in the playoffs, turned into a different quarterback. I mean, he's pretty good all year and, above average. And then playoffs hit and the ice water starts to flow.
Yeah, Eli Manning has kind of always been an average quarterback during the regular season.
He's washed now.
Now
Yeah.
he is, yeah. Yeah. But, I mean...
Washed.
Did
It's
he,
hard to watch now.
Did he really play... He was bad, but did he play that bad this year, especially without OBJ and... yeah, he got, Saquon or whatever, but there's really nobody else on that team to even throw the ball to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sterling Shepard's an okay receiver, but...
I think they just need to go young at that position now.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. Maybe if he went somewhere else, with some more talent, like you said, maybe he could get back to his old form a little bit. But I don't know. I think it's kind of fallen off.
The
for him.
NFL is not very conducive of stationary quarterbacks anymore.
Yeah.
It's just the whole game's evolving.
And that's what I like. Stationary quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole game's evolving. You can't have the defensive ends are just too fast. You can't, there's not enough offensive linemen in the NFL to keep up with the defensive linemen. And the reason why is because it's actually an easier job to play defensive lineman. All you do is contain or blitz. Sometimes you have a couple different reads where you want to take over, like a gap or two. But it's not that hard to rush the quarterback. You have to be really, really fast and really athletic. And you could teach that from high school on with your best athlete on the team, and they can get to that quarterback. Because it's way harder to go backwards than it is to go forwards.
With Danielle Hunter for the
Right.
Vikings.
I mean, Brady can do it because he's got a James White type.
Well, that and
And
everything is
he's
quick.
like, dude, Brady's majestic in the pocket, too.
I mean,
he just slides up.
He is. Everything is really quick. I mean, it's like one or two reads. I mean, and he knows exactly where he's going right away.
His progression speed is better than most quarterbacks. He can do 1, 2, 3 reads like that. He knows, he'll do the one. He'll look at what you do is you look at both your primary receivers right away when you're a quarterback, and you look at the defense. Okay, can I get these two guys involved in any way right now, like they do with Thielen and Diggs on the Vikings? If the safety plays a certain angle, you can then get the tight end involved, right? Brady already has it all preset in his head where his guys are going to be, depending on what they do. He doesn't have to do reads. You know what I mean? He's so good at reading defenses. He says, okay, if this outside linebacker blitzes, I'm just going to throw to James White because he's going to replace him. You know what I mean? It's just...
Well, wasn't that last drive against Kansas City just this last week where he'd take the snap and automatically throw it to Edelman. Well, then all of a sudden, didn't they bring a safety up to try to take that slant route from Edelman? And then he had Gronk one-on-one on the outside.
Right.
I mean, he knows where he's going right away. I mean, he sees that safety come down. He's like, okay, fine, I'm going to go throw it to the one-on-one guy.
And the NFL, the defenses now are kind of all forming into this 3 high, 8 men in the box and containing. Whether you blitz from the even side or the odd side, or however you bring your pressure, it's all kind of the same, concept now. It's more like a 4-4, and then you have that 3 high safety look. You can have your cornerbacks play zone. You can have your cornerbacks play man. It doesn't really matter because your safeties are always in the same spots, and they replace each other depending on who's blitzing. It's obviously more complex than we would ever know because it's all in their own language. So there's no way to really explain it. But basically the defense just contains now and doesn't really attack as much because the defensive ends are so fast and they make the quarterbacks make those decisions like that. Mm-hmm. So then you just have to contain. If you give up 10 yards, who cares? That's why passing is such a big deal now. And you can't run because there's always an extra guy in the box. So,
I mean, I'm tired of seeing the Patriots win, but then when you actually break it down and think about it, what they do is just so genius how they just get guys that fit the role that they're looking for.
Right.
And then like you said, they just utilize them to the best of their ability. And whatever the defense gives them, they're going to go there. And it always works. I just think, like, they have James White, and they get, Sony Michel. They got...
The James White-triots.
Yeah, as I like to call them. I'm not even making fun of it. Like, I want the Vikings to get a running back like that. I just think it's a great way to attack a defense. Get an athletic running back that can catch the ball in space against a linebacker. Even like Rex Burkhead. Do you know who he played for before the Patriots?
No, Cleveland?
No.
Who was it?
Cincinnati.
I knew it was
That's right. Is he a fullback?
What did he do there?
Yeah.
He was just a guy.
Yeah.
And the Patriots see that he can run the ball between the tackles. He's a decent running back. He can catch the ball.
But nobody else sees it. Just the Patriots.
He's not dynamic at anything, but they're like, he can be a Swiss Army knife, and we can use him how we want. And if the defense gives it to us, we're going to take it. And they do that. And it's brilliant. Like, it's the reason they win every year.
They'll come out and spread out the defense, and they'll start picking them apart with those slants. So then they'll come out in kind of the same look, but bring in an extra tight end. The defense will come out and get ready for those slants. They'll bring the tight ends in, give it to Burkhead, 4 yards. It's just 4 yards every time. And if you can get on first down, second down, if you can do that every time, man, if you do a quick crossing route just to replace the defender, run the ball for 3 yards, you're in third and short, and you're taking what the defense gives you and always getting first downs. It's like the Patriots look at it as, I'm not going to get a touchdown. I have 3 plays to get 10 yards every time. 3 plays to get 10 yards. You know what I mean? That's how they coach. Mm-hmm. And if you want to bring your defense up and leave Gronk singled, of course Brady's going to attack that,
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Well, leaving Gronk singled got Kansas City's defensive coordinator fired.
Wild fighting because they lose.
That's the thing what I've always been saying about the Vikings, though, too, is like, I just want them to diversify their offense. And they go, Cook, Thielen, Diggs. It's like, and they're great players. And like, I could see, the desire to want to get them the ball. But at the same time, you got to have more, options.
They never come out with 2 running backs. Never.
Yeah.
And the Patriots do that all the time. They come out. The Eagles do it. The Rams do it. The Falcons do it. I can't think of anybody else right now, but I don't mean to go on a tangent. But these teams, they come out in multiple running back sets. And then what that does is take up 2 linebackers.
I think James White is the key to what the Patriots do.
Well, think of the success that the Patriots have always had. Their first few Super Bowls they won, Kevin Falk was like the guy that if he did well, they were going to win.
Right. After
that, then it was, who was the next guy? Shane Vereen.
Yeah.
Then Shane Vereen goes to the Giants, and then it's Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah, Deion Lewis. It's him. Well, then he gets replaced by James White. Aren't those guys all kind of similar in a way?
Yeah, that's what they do is they find a type of guy that fills the role that they need.
And the Vikings didn't.
And that running back, every time those guys you're talking about can play slot receiver.
Yeah.
So if you come out in 2 running backs and then you move that guy to a slot, now the defense is scrambling. They have no idea what's going to happen. You can actually sweep back around and follow the tight end.
Yeah.
You can hand it off and have him block. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're so perfect at fundamentals that even James White, one of the smaller guys you'll see on a football field, can block defensive ends and chip them out of the backfield and give Brady time. He can pick up a blitzer. They do everything good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And they have a head coach that, can be demanding and actually has the results to, back it up. So players have no choice but to, follow suit.
Well, yeah, I don't see any players, really wanting to fight back on, what Belichick does. The success speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have that to get everybody to, buy in automatically. Plus Tom Brady, nobody's going there and rocking the boat.
Yeah.
No.
So
they've got everything going for them.
With all this being said, so we just kind of pumped up the Patriots a little bit there. With all this being said, they still got to win one more game. And it's actually against a coach I think that might be able to keep up slightly with Bill Belichick. There's most coaches can't. And I think Sean McVay has the ability to maybe out-scheme him a little bit on certain drives.
I agree with you. That's why I said I think in my opinion, I think it's going to be a shootout. I just can't decide if Goff is going to make that one big play at the end of the game that I think he's probably going to need to. That's kind of the thing I'm most interested in seeing in the game, honestly.
Do you think shootout? So you think it's going to be over on the
What is it? 'Cause I was thinking like 34-31 probably.
I think over under is like 56.
So over?
I'd go over.
You're going over. Yeah, I'd probably go over. I'm thinking the 30, like a 31-27 kind of game, which is slightly over.
Yeah, I think both teams will be around 30. I think it'll be a lot like last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, last year's that was an entertaining game. It really was.
It was a really good Super Bowl.
It was.
I was mad at Philadelphia, obviously.
I just don't know if Goff can go full Foles.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play well, but
magic, doesn't he?
I mean, Foles was pretty much perfect last year, wasn't he?
In the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Super Bowl specifically.
Even a touchdown catch.
Yeah.
But Brady couldn't catch that one. Remember they tried doing the same, basically
and it worked.
the same play.
And it worked. And that's why Belichick's cool, is because, what's his name again?
The Eagles? Doug Peterson?
Doug Peterson. He's a former quarterback, and he knows what he's doing, and he wasn't afraid of Belichick at all. You know how you beat Belichick is you always attack and you never stop. You can't go into a shell and try to play safe against him, because if your team, if the Patriots sniff any sense of life or any momentum shift, they take advantage of it every time, and the game flips. The defense starts playing better. Belichick gets in a roll and starts, out scheming the other coach, no matter who they are, and it's like a bowling ball rolling down a hill. I'm gonna cut one of these out. You guys gotta come up with something here for me.
What are you talking about? I was reading a question we got.
What's the question?
It's from Brian, and he asked about the missed call at the end of the Saints game, which I think we already kind of touched on, but second part of his question was, what changes would you make to the rules for replays? And I wouldn't make any changes, honestly. I don't want more things replayed.
Neither do I. I think, if you're going to have officials, you got to have some sort of, human element in the game.
So here's what you do, is you have, if you were to make a rule change, which I don't necessarily want one, but if you do, you make it one challenge, you get one, and it's on a judgment call for the officials. And if you're wrong, you lose a timeout and get a penalty of 15 yards. You have to be penalized for slowing down the game on a judgment call. And so how it would work is the NFL would have to, obviously it's a judgment call on the field, so they can't call it. So it has to go to a whole different, New York or wherever the office is. They have to give them their judgment and send it back down. How often do you think that the NFL is going to say their officials are wrong?
So if you're on defense and you challenge one, do you then give the offense 15 yards if you get it wrong?
Correct.
So like a holding or whatever.
It's just 15 yards. It's like a it's like a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. You know what I mean? Plus you lose the timeout. So you lose a timeout and it's a 15-yard penalty. So now coaches aren't so keen on challenging that judgment call, where this call, that everybody thinks is so egregious, and I still think the camera angles don't make it show the actual physics of what happened. But a lot of people agree that this is a terrible call that happened to the Saints, and that call would have went into New York, and he probably would have won that challenge. But if he would have lost, you lose the timeout, and you're backed up 15 yards. So now you're out of field goal range. See what I'm saying? So it kind of factors into your scheming and what you're going to do. Is it really worth challenging that extra? Because I bet a coach wouldn't.
Wouldn't challenge.
Like if you're at the 30-yard line and there's 2 minutes left in the game, kick a field goal to take a lead. Don't you just kick the field goal and not risk it? Instead of putting yourself out of field goal range?
I don't know if you got Greg Zuerlein on your team. I think you throw that every time. That kick would have been good from 70, dude.
Yeah, he did.
He killed that.
He did.
And it was right down the middle.
Yeah, it was a good kick. Are you guys giving the Rams any chance?
Yes. I am.
I give him a slight chance.
I think it's 70-30.
I think it's about as close to 50-50 as you can get, and I guess I'd be going with my heart and saying the Rams are going to win. I don't really have any like statistics or anything to really back it up. It's just that's just kind of my thinking.
My gut tells me they're going to have a shot to win it at the end, and they're not going to be able to do it.
I think the Patriots are going to remember last year facing a first-time coach in the Super Bowl, a guy that out-schemed Belichick. I think Belichick right now has been up every single day for the last 2 weeks, and he's got the whole offense of the Rams figured the fuck out. And the only thing that's going to... Here's the thing is coaches lose, players win, right? So even if you're scheming against each other as a coach, Jared Goff, who has become quite impressive lately, will still be able to make certain throws. Your team will still outblock their team. Even if they have the right call, you still have to win, that play. So it kind of comes down to fundamentals, explosion, momentum. Football games are crazy, so especially the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the craziest game of the year because both teams literally try as hard as they can, each player on the field, and nobody skates. You know what I mean? It's the pinnacle for them. It's the ultimate game. This isn't week 8 and you're winning by 20. Every single play they try as hard as they can, and that's why shit happens. They fumble. You got tip passes. People drop passes because they're trying so hard that they forget about the fundamentals. So there's a lot of shit that's going to happen tomorrow.
I think they're going to miss Cooper Kupp, too.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds just isn't the same as... Doesn't offer the same as Cooper Kupp offers.
No, that was one of their better ways to attack a defense. I think him not being around makes him a little less explosive.
I think
kind of diminishes their other guys a little bit too if they don't have him like working underneath and the middle doesn't. I don't think it opens up as much for the other guys. I mean, they're still good. I just don't think they're like as optimal as they could be, and I think they need to be optimal to beat the Patriots. That's my opinion.
I think they're going to get a big game from Brandon Cooks. I think they're going to get a big game from him.
They don't have any choice if they want to stay in the game.
I mean, they got a choice. They got Robert Woods on the outside. They got Brandon Cooks. They got, Anderson and Gurley. They got weapons. They got a lot of weapons.
They got so many weapons, Pat.
They do got weapons. They got a lot of weapons.
C.J. Anderson.
I want Tom Brady to shred the Rams.
Look
dude.
at the end of the season.
I know.
C.J. Anderson was running for 140, 160. Basically ran him into the... I mean, he ran really well 2 weeks ago. They needed that in order to beat the Saints.
I know, it's strange. I don't know how it was happening.
Yeah, I don't know either because...
kind of like Derrick Henry.
The Panthers didn't use him.
No, Derrick Henry's a specimen.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. That guy's a monster. But he didn't do anything with the Panthers, and then he got cut from Carolina. Where did he go after that?
I think he went to Oakland for a minute.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it was Oakland. He didn't play really with Oakland. They cut him too.
Yeah.
And then the Rams signed him off the street and gave him like the bulk of the carries that same week, and he ran for like 140 yards.
Wasn't Gurley out?
Gurley he missed a few games.
Yeah, they needed a guy.
Yeah. They
really didn't have much behind him.
Yeah, what's their other guy's name? He's got kind of just a regular name.
Like Kelly or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. I want to say Rob Kelly, but he plays for Washington, so I know it's not him.
Anything else about the Rams, Pat?
I'm just expecting a big game from Brandon Cooks, and
you're just really excited for the Rams.
I mean, I'm excited for the game. I'm not just excited for the Rams. I'm excited for the game, and I also think Gurley's going to have a big game as well in order for them to win.
I agree with that.
I mean, Gurley is not going to be able to, fumble a ball, drop a couple passes that lead into interceptions, miss, key blocking assignments on, blitzes and stuff like that. And
what if he's not a big game running back, kind of like Adrian Peterson wasn't? What if he does fumble?
I mean, I still don't think you take him out.
They did last game.
I know.
And they won.
It worked. It definitely worked, which I'm shocked because he's a top 2 or 3 running back in the league, if not the best running back in the league. I mean, depending on how you look at it. But
football's crazy, dude. He was in his own head. They probably sat him down. he'll be fine. He'll as long as he doesn't fumble or drop a pass again and start thinking, oh, here we go again.
He was in his own head because it was like first possession, fumble or whatever, drop pass. The next possession, drop pass. It happened, right away in the first couple, possessions they had, and they kind of had to go away from him. But I'm not expecting them to go away from him this game.
I really don't want the Rams to win because I don't like their fan base. And I don't think they deserve a fucking championship. And they literally just got the team. They don't even have a place to play yet. You're going to get a ring already? Fuck that.
Do they really have a fan base, though? I mean, they got...
That's the point! They just get it because they're L.A. And a bunch of fake-ass fans.
Yeah.
They have some good players, though.
You gotta give them
credit. You gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah, and they're not playing at home, so...
They need to win now, too, because they overspent on a lot of those old players on defense.
Well, I mean... That's just kind of the way of the NFL. When you're paying your quarterback on a rookie scale, you can afford to, spend a ton of money on the rest of your players. But once Jared Goff is up for a contract, I mean, you're talking, Kirk Cousins kind of contract, if not way more.
It's going to be more.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bottom line, I would think, unless he gets injured or something. But
and then just side note, the funniest thing about the Kirk Cousins contract is if he keeps playing, even just like he did this year, he's still going to get the same type of contract when he's up for renewal in 2-3 years. 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So he's still going to get another. The new TV contract or agreement's coming in. Salary cap's going up. This dude's about to make 100 the next time around if he just gets 30 touchdowns a year with 4,500 yards. He's going to get another $100,000. It is what it is. That's the NFL. Sorry, didn't mean to go on a tangent there. Just a lot of people in our market, for some reason, don't like Kirk Cousins for his money.
Well, it's an easy, it's the most visible position. And it's the easiest thing to criticize when the season doesn't go how you want it to.
And what has he done wrong? He's like a perfect professional.
He's a good professional. He didn't.
When I said perfect professional, I meant perfect in like how he acts professionally, not a perfect quarterback.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's not a perfect quarterback. He obviously has room to improve.
His leadership impressed me this year.
Yeah.
Super Bowl prediction, real quick. Did we go over that?
Didn't we?
I don't know.
I predicted it.
Oh, you said a
34-31 Patriots.
I'm going 31-27 Rams.
You want to know my Super Bowl prediction? They're going to score 80 points.
Wow.
Which team?
Both teams together. They're going to score 80 points.
Rams 80, Patriots 10.
So you're guessing like a 42-38 kind of game? Just an offensive explosion?
I actually think the Patriots are going to still blow them out like 50 points, and they're going to score 30-ish. I think Tom Brady's going to absolutely shred this defense.
You think they're going to get to 50?
Yeah, I think they're going to score 50 points in the Super Bowl. I think Tom Brady's going to remember last year, the high-scoring game, realize he has to score every possession, basically. And he's going to score every possession, and Goff isn't going to keep up.
I hope you're wrong.
I know you do. I don't want LA freaking winning winning a championship. They don't deserve it right now.
I don't want them to win either. Or,
I just want to see a
I
good
want them
game.
to win, but
You like the players on the team, and I appreciate
I like
that.
the player.
Well, you like the team
I
because you like Sean McVay, don't you?
Yeah, I like
Who hates Sean McVay? The dude's a genius. And I guarantee you he's giving Bill Belichick nightmares right now. So I think, but that's why the Patriots, you're going to see the best Patriots team in a Super Bowl that you've seen other than that Atlanta one. They're going to score 50 points.
One more question. Did Julian Edelman throw a touchdown?
No.
No. Every Super Bowl, doesn't it seem like the Patriots run some sort of wide receiver throwing it? You know, Amendola did it. Edelman's done it. Let's stop doing Tom Brady going out for passes.
Yeah,
Let's not
I'd
do
stay
that.
away from that.
Philip Dorsett's going to score 2 touchdowns.
That's your bold prediction?
Yeah.
Do you have any bold predictions?
Higbee's going to score 1. Rams are not going to score on their first 2 possessions. On the third possession, Todd Gurley's going to have like a 40-yard run. It might not be a touchdown, but that's what's going to spark them.
It's getting real specific.
Yeah, but Higbee,
Meanwhile, it's 21-0.
Higbee's going to score.
Pat's like on 3rd and 7 with 14:22 to go.
Tyler Higbee's going to score.
That's what you do though. So let's say the Patriots come out and they're up 10-14-0. You got to run the ball and you got to get your defense rested and you got to have a long drive and score a touchdown. That's how you switch the momentum.
I think it will be
So
10-0 right away.
If you get really involved in that drive and make them the focus, give them 8 carries, 5 carries, whatever it is that drive. 8 carries is a lot for a drive actually. Probably 5 carries.
Yeah.
I could see them popping a 40-yard run. New England adjusting, and now you got Goff being able to make some throws.
Man,
Who's the MVP?
If Tom Brady has decent stats, it's Tom Brady because they're going to win. If the Rams win, it's not going to be a shootout. It's going to be a closer game, and Aaron Donald gets the MVP.
A defensive lineman. Interior.
when's the last time a defensive lineman has won it?
The one that forces 3 fumbles and gets like 4 sacks.
He's going to have to do that.
Yep.
He's going to need like 9 sacks.
Good luck getting
14
Brady,
forced fumbles.
But when teams get to Brady, they win.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
So if they win, they're getting to Tom Brady, which my prediction is they don't. But my prediction is also if they do, Aaron Donald's going to be heavily involved in that and changing the game.
Ndamukong Suh steps on Brady's head or his hand.
I think Philip Dorsett's going to be the MVP. Watch.
I am calling a Tyler Higbee touchdown. And
It's not far-fetched.
It's not very bold.
You think
Tyler Higbee?
Say 2.
Huh?
Say 2.
Say 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. A tight end can score a touchdown.
Yeah, I know they can, but I'm saying Tyler Higbee's like the 19th best tight end in the league.
All right. Then if Philip Dorsett scores 1, I get to brag.
Fine.
Fine. I will then.
On the 3rd drive, Todd Gurley will have a 43-yard run. That's going to be my... He's not going to score the touchdown because that's going to be Higbee's touchdown. That's going to be a 5-yard...
All your bold predictions are on the 3rd drive.
5-yard touchdown. It's going to be their one scoring drive.
I could see your thing coming to fruition after a fake punt that the Rams do that the Patriots don't catch. 4th and 3, they're on their own 40. Gurley's already had 2-3 runs. They got 1 first down, and they're in 4th and 3, and they do a fake punt, get the first down, and then everybody freaks. Romo's like, "I should have called that one. I had a feeling."
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing Romo.
Yeah, Romo is doing it, isn't it? That'll be fun.
He's good. He can get a little corny sometimes, a little off base, but he knows his football.
Yeah.
And he knows how to explain it way better than Witten.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the game.
It'll be fun. I'm sure we'll be talking.
PodCrewMN out.
Later.
Holla.